Go grab that green can from your fridge, the one with 100% grated Parmesan cheese printed right there on the front. The same one your mum used, the same one you've been shaking onto pasta your entire life without thinking twice. Now flip it over. Look at the ingredients. See cellulose powder? That's wood pulp, derived from the same material as notebook paper. The FDA allows it as an anti-caking agent, which technically it is, the same way sawdust is technically organic material. And in 2016, the FDA investigated a company called Castle Cheese in Pennsylvania. They were selling 100% real Parmesan to Target, Walmart, and grocery chains across 30 states. The FDA's finding, quote, "No Parmesan cheese was used to manufacture the product. 0% Parmesan, in a product labeled 100% Parmesan. For 30 years. They changed it. They didn't tell you. And they're still charging you cheese prices for wood pulp and mystery filler." Welcome to the label changed. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing the quiet reformulations that brands hope slip past you. Every week we catch what labels used to say versus what they say now. Hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss what they change next. Let's talk about what happened to Parmesan cheese, and wait until you hear what number 3 got away with before anyone noticed. Number 10. Essential Everyday. This is the store brand sold at Jewel Osco and Albertsons locations across the country. Looks like Parmesan, priced like Parmesan, labeled as 100% grated Parmesan cheese. Same shelf your grandmother shopped, same trust she placed in the label. Independent lab tests, commissioned by Bloomberg in 2016, found 8.8% cellulose content. That's more than double the FDA's 4% limit for anti-caking agents. Almost 1/10 of what you're shaking onto your spaghetti isn't cheese at all. It's filler designed to add weight while you pay cheese prices. Same packaging, same price, completely different product inside than what the label implies. Number 9. Walmart. Great value. America's largest retailer selling America's most popular store brand Parmesan. 100% grated Parmesan cheese printed right on the front in letters you can read from across the aisle. The same Bloomberg investigation found 7.8% cellulose content, nearly double the acceptable limit. Think about that math. You buy what's labeled 100% Parmesan cheese. Almost 8% isn't cheese at all. It's wood pulp derivative stretched with whatever else tests cheap that week. Walmart quietly amended their labels after the report. No recall, no refunds, no announcement. The product stayed on shelves. Still there today, still the same green container, still the same promise on the front. Number 8. Market Pantry, Target's store brand, looked trustworthy with clean red and white packaging. It sat in millions of refrigerators in homes that thought they were buying real cheese from a retailer they trusted. In reality, they were buying Castle Cheese products relabeled for Target distribution. Castle Cheese supplied Market Pantry with what they called Parmesan for years. That same Castle Cheese that the FDA found contained 0% actual Parmesan. Target shoppers paid premium store brand prices for a product that was literally not what the label said. The cheese contained cheddar, Swiss, mozzarella, and Havarti mixed with cellulose filler. Whatever was tested cheap that week was ground up and sold as Italian cheese to families who never questioned the label. Number 7. Always save. This budget brand, supplied by Associated Wholesale Grocers, reaches 3,400 stores across 30 states. Small towns, rural communities, families stretching grocery budgets who trusted that 100% Parmesan meant 100% Parmesan. Castle Cheese supplied them too. The same 0% Parmesan product was distributed under a different label to a different demographic. The betrayal hit hardest in communities with fewer shopping alternatives. When your only grocery store carries one Parmesan option, and that option is fraudulent, you never had a real choice to begin with. You just had the illusion of choice and the certainty of deception. Number 6. Kraft Grated Parmesan. The green can, the original, been in American kitchens since 1945. 80 years of pasta nights. 80 years of that familiar shake over spaghetti. Your grandmother probably had one in her refrigerator. Your parents definitely did. You probably have one right now pushed to the back of the shelf behind the hot sauce. The Bloomberg lab tests found 3.8% cellulose, technically within the FDA limit, barely legal. But here's what matters more than the cellulose content. In Europe, this exact product cannot legally be called Parmesan at all. The European Court of Justice ruled in 2008 that Parmesan can only refer to actual Parmigiano Reggiano made in specific Italian provinces. Kraft had to rebrand entirely for European markets. Same product, different continent, completely different legal status. Same green can, same childhood memories, same shelf in your refrigerator. Completely different legal definition depending on which side of the Atlantic you're standing on. Europeans get consumer protection. Americans get wood pulp and marketing. Number 5. Any brand using the Parmesan flavor loophole. Check the labels carefully on store brand Italian cheese blends. Many don't actually claim to be Parmesan at all. They say Parmesan flavor or Italian style or grated topping. The word Parmesan appears in large letters. The word flavor or style appears in smaller letters right next to it. This is legal. This is intentional. The packaging evokes Parmesan, while the fine print admits it's something else entirely. Romano and Asiago mixed with cellulose and preservatives, marketed to look like the green can your mum used. You're not buying mislabeled Parmesan. You're buying correctly labeled imitation that's designed to be mistaken for the real thing. The deception is built into the design. Number 4. Any 100% grated Parmesan hiding preservatives behind clean claims. Look for products marketed as no preservatives or all natural that still list potassium sorbate or natamycin in the ingredients. Both are preservatives. Both prevent mold growth. Both appear in products marketed as preservative-free. The regulatory loophole: they are classified as mold inhibitors rather than preservatives. Different category, same chemicals, same function. The label says no preservatives, while the ingredients list contains preservatives under a different name. Real Parmigiano Reggiano needs no preservatives whatsoever. The monks who invented it 900 years ago designed it to last for years without refrigeration. Processed American Parmesan needs chemical help to achieve what the original recipe accomplishes through craftsmanship. Number 3. Castle Cheese Inc. This is the main story. The company that proved the entire domestic Parmesan industry was built on a foundation that nobody was checking. November 2012, an anonymous tip reaches the FDA. Someone who worked inside the operation and knew what was happening decided to make a phone call. Investigators show up at a cheese factory in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Yes, that's actually the name of the town. What they found wasn't just too much cellulose. It was no Parmesan whatsoever. The FDA determined that Castle's 100% Parmesan contained 0% Parmesan. None. Their product was cheddar, Swiss, mozzarella, Havarti, and whatever other cheap cheese they could source at bulk prices that week, mixed with wood pulp filler to stretch it further, packaged with labels claiming 100% Parmesan, and distributed to major retailers for 3 decades. 30 years. 30 years of consumers trusting the label. 30 years of families paying Parmesan prices for mystery cheese and sawdust. Company president Michelle Murta pleaded guilty to federal criminal charges for violating the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. She faced up to a year in prison and $100,000 in fines. The company filed for bankruptcy in 2013. But here's what should keep you up at night. Castle wasn't caught by the FDA's regular monitoring. They were caught because someone inside made a phone call. For 30 years, the system designed to protect consumers never noticed that a major Parmesan supplier was shipping products containing 0% of the cheese on the label. The fraud only ended because one person decided to speak up. Number 2, the industry-wide testing results. A subsidiary of Dairy Farmers of America independently tested 28 brands of grated Parmesan sold in American stores after the Castle scandal broke. Their finding? Only 1/3 of labels were accurate. 2/3 contained less Parmesan than claimed, more filler than allowed, or ingredients not listed on the label at all. This wasn't one bad actor. This was the industry standard. The expert who runs Arthur Schumann Inc., the largest importer of hard Italian cheeses in America, estimated that 20% of all Parmesan sold in this country is mislabeled. Not might be, is. 1 in 5 containers of Parmesan is not what it claims to be. And that estimate came from someone who profits from cheese sales. He had every incentive to downplay the problem. Number 1. The $2 billion counterfeit market. The Parmigiano Reggiano Consortium in Italy tracks fake Parmesan the way Interpol tracks stolen art. They employ lawyers in dozens of countries. They monitor trade fairs and online marketplaces. They file legal actions constantly against products designed to evoke Italian authenticity. Their estimate of the annual global counterfeit Parmesan market? $2 billion. The legitimate market for authentic Parmigiano Reggiano is $2.7 billion. The fake market is almost as large as the real one. For every wheel of authentic cheese sold somewhere in the world, there's nearly a wheel's worth of counterfeit being passed off as genuine. Products labeled Parmesano in Colombia, Reggianito in Argentina, Parmezza in Poland. American Parmesan that European courts have ruled deceptive. German authorities recently seized American Parmesan at a trade fair in Cologne and issued an injunction banning its sale under that name. There's a bank in Italy called Credito Emiliano that has accepted wheels of Parmigiano Reggiano as loan collateral since 1953. They store over 440,000 wheels in climate-controlled vaults worth approximately 200 million euros. The cheese appreciates in value as it ages. This only works because authentic Parmigiano Reggiano maintains consistent quality and verifiable authenticity. No American bank would accept craft Parmesan as collateral. That's the difference between a protected tradition and a marketing category. But here's the good news. Not every producer followed the path of fillers and fraud. These companies prove you can still buy actual cheese. Number 4. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano DOP, the original, invented by Benedictine monks in the 12th century in the region between Parma and Reggio Emilia. 3 ingredients only: raw cow's milk, salt, and calf rennet. That's it. The recipe hasn't changed in 900 years because it didn't need to change. Each wheel weighs around 80 pounds and ages minimum 12 months. Many age to 24 or 36 months for more complex flavors. An expert from the consortium taps every wheel with a special hammer, listening for defects that indicate problems with the aging process. Failed wheels have their markings physically removed. They cannot legally be sold as Parmigiano Reggiano. Those little white crystals you see scattered throughout properly aged Parmesan. Those are tyrosine amino acid clusters that form naturally during extended aging. They add that characteristic pleasant crunch. Processed American Parmesan doesn't have them because it's not aged long enough for the crystals to develop. The texture tells you immediately what you're eating. Dense and crystalline means real. Powdery and bland means processed. Look for the name embossed directly on the rind in distinctive pin dot letters. Look for the DOP certification seal. The ingredients should list only milk, salt, and rennet, nothing else. If you see cellulose or preservatives or potassium sorbate, you're not looking at the real thing. Number 3. Belgioioso. Founded in Wisconsin in 1979 by Enrico Auricchio, an Italian immigrant who brought master cheesemakers with him to America. Their Parmesan ages a minimum of 10 months in climate-controlled caves where each wheel is hand-turned throughout the process. Ingredients: pasteurized milk, cheese culture, salt, and enzymes. No cellulose, no preservatives, no anti-caking agents. Is it Parmigiano Reggiano? No, it's made in Wisconsin with pasteurized milk. But it's real cheese made by craftspeople who chose quality over cost-cutting. Available at most grocery stores with decent cheese sections. Number 2. Sartori. 4th generation Wisconsin cheese company founded in 1939 by Paolo Sartori, who immigrated from Italy's Veneto region. Their Vecchio Parmesan ages a minimum of 20 months. They've won over 100 awards at international cheese competitions. In 1970, Sartori became the first American company to export cheese to Italy. They sold American Parmesan to the Italians. That's not marketing spin. That's earned reputation through decades of demonstrated quality. Costs less than imported Italian. Infinitely better than mystery cheese mixed with wood pulp in a plastic shaker. Number 1. Buy a wedge and grate it yourself. 30 seconds of effort. A $15 microplane that lasts for years. Any authentic Parmigiano Reggiano wedge outperforms any pre-grated product in flavor and actual cheese content. You can see exactly what you're buying. You can verify the rind markings. You control what goes onto your plate. Those rinds you've been throwing away, completely edible and packed with concentrated flavor. Toss them into soup or risotto while it simmers. They melt slowly, releasing umami depth that no powder from a can will ever match. You've been discarding the best part. Here's what to look for next time you're standing in the cheese aisle trying to decide. Parmesan is not a protected term in America. Anyone can use it for anything. Parmigiano Reggiano is protected. It means something specific and verifiable. If you can't see the rind with the pin dot letters, you can't verify what you're buying. Choose wedges over powder. Always check ingredients for cellulose content. If it lists wood pulp, you're paying to eat wood pulp. The DOP seal is your only real guarantee. No seal means no guarantee. The original version still exists. It's been made the same way in the same Italian region, using the same 3 ingredients for 9 centuries. The monks figured out the recipe. Modern corporations decided they could do it cheaper by adding wood pulp and calling it the same thing. That green can is still on the same shelf where your grandmother found it. Same price, same promise on the label. But now you know what's actually inside, and now you know what to reach for instead. If you learned something, subscribe to The Label Changed and hit the notification bell. Every like helps more people catch what brands hope they'll miss. Share this with someone who deserves to know what they've actually been shaking onto their pasta all these years. New investigations drop every week. The Label Changed. Now you know how to read it.